Om. 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 Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. My humble pranams to all Atma Jyotis, divine light of the self. I welcome all of you to today's session of Bhagavad Gita. We are going to study Bhagavad Gita, Godardha Deepika by Sri Madhusudana Saraswati, translated by Swami Gambhirananda of Sri Ramakrishna Matam. Before we start that book, I thought that we will go through a summary of all the chapters so that we have a background, we complete Bhagavad Gita, a summary at a very high level so that we know what we are talking about. I am not a Pandita, I am not a Jnani, I am not a Guru. I am just a Sadhaka, seeker. I am conducting this study hour so that it will help me to understand Bhagavad Gita better. It is a process of learning for me. If there are any mistakes, please forgive me. So, we have completed 6 chapters so far. First 6 chapters we have completed. Today we will be starting 7th chapter. 7th chapter is named as Jnana Vijnana Yoga. Jnana Vijnana Yoga. Let us see. So traditionally, people divide Bhagavad Gita into 3 sections. Bhagavad Gita has 18 chapters. We have completed first 6 chapters. So Bhagavad Gita, you can think of it as 6 chapters, 6 chapters, 6 chapters. The first 6 chapters is about you. Tvam. The next set of 6 chapters, chapter number 7, one second. Chapter number 7 to 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The 6 chapters is about Tat. Tat means Ishvara or God. Tat in Sanskrit means that. That means God. And the last 6 chapter explains the identity between Tvam and Tat. Thereby, Bhagavad Gita 18 chapters explains the Veda Vakya Mahavakya Tattvam Asi. You are that, thou art that. So we are in we started in the middle 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7 to 12. This talks about nature of God. Who is God? What is God? Is going to be explained in these 6 chapters. 6 chapters is about God. First 6 chapters is about you, the individual being, and the next 6 chapters is about God. We do lot of sadhana, individual effort. Without the grace of Ishvara, Krupa of Ishvara, grace of Guru, we cannot attain success in spiritual life. We require grace of Ishvara, grace of Guru. This grace is always there. It is not that it is available to some people and not available to some people. Not like that. It is equally available for everyone. The grace of Ishvara is equally available for everyone. We only have to tune our mind to this grace. Ishvara, Guru, and Atma are one and the same. When you do meditation, you should do meditation on Ishvara or Guru or Atma. The different subsections in this chapter are 7.1 to 7.3 is about knowledge of God. What is God is explained. 7.4 to 7.12 is about nature of God. 7.13 is cause of suffering. Why people suffer is explained. 7.14 to 7.19, what is the remedy for suffering? Devotion, the remedy for suffering. 7.20 to 7.26, different types of devotees for material needs. 7.27 to 7.30 is about devotion for spiritual needs. So 7.1 to 7.3, Sri Krishna talks about Para Prakriti and Apara Prakriti. You can think of there is Parabrahman, one and only Parabrahman, non-dual Parabrahman. Because of the power of Brahman, which is called Maya Shakti, the world is projected. When Parabrahman is associated with Maya, he is called Ishvara. Ishvara is Saguna Brahma and Parabrahma is beyond Saguna Brahma. For the creation to happen, to explain the world, there has to be a masculine principle and feminine principle. Masculine principle, you can think of it as Shiva, and feminine principle as Shakti. You can also think of it as Purusha and Prakriti, spirit and matter. From the Jiva point of view, Jiva means individual being. You are a Jiva, I am a Jiva. From Jiva point of view, we know that we are separate from God. This is a viewpoint of the individual self. This is not real viewpoint. This is untruth. But from a beginning perspective, the Jiva's point of view is that I am separate, God is separate, God created universe, God created the world, God created me, and I am in this world. I do upasana, I do sadhana, and I go back to God's world. This is one viewpoint. So, for doing meditation, we require love for Ishvara, love for Sri Krishna, love for Rama, like that. People pray to Ishvara, God. Why? Because to fulfill their desires. The moment we do puja, our list of desires are ready. That is not how we should approach God. We should approach God for the love of God. We should not have a list of desires to be fulfilled when we pray to God. We should approach God with love and respect and gratitude. Whatever is there in our life is a gift from God. We have eyes which can see, we have ears which can listen, we are able to digest food, we are able to walk, talk. These are wonderful gifts. Sun is there, moon is there. We are having a wonderful world. We are able to enjoy the world. This is a wonderful gift from God. Knowing this, naturally, we will feel grateful to God. Instead of that, we forget all these things, all these gifts, and we say, I have so and so desire. My son has to pass exam. My daughter has to pass exam. Different types of prayers. This is like dictating to God what is right for me. We should never dictate to God. We should do meditation on God. What is meditation? It is listening to the silence. God communicates to you through silence. Listen to the silence. There is abundant love that flows from Ishvara to you. Listen silently. Don't have a list of items to be tick marked. God is not an ATM machine. See, usually people approach God so that their worldly life is trouble free. They are not really lovers of God. They are lovers of their material life. In order for the material, for their individual material life to be happy, They use God for solving their problems. Nobody is there doing meditation on God for the sake of love of God. One should have love towards God, love for the sake of love. This is bhakti. Bhakti is mother of mukti, liberation. No bhakti, no mukti. What is mukti? When we think about our individual life, we have anxiety, we are anxious, we are afraid, we are contracted, contraction happens in the heart. We are always anxious about what will happen to me tomorrow. This anxiety, this fear is always there. With that fear, we pray to God so that God makes sure that my life is trouble free. This is the prayer people do, but that should not be how it should be. We should not be asking, we should be giving. God is the totality, and we should be giving to the totality. Karma Yoga is expression of love towards Bhagavan. Japa Yoga, when you do japa, don't have a goal. Enjoy the name of the God. That is, express your love through the chanting, by chanting the name of the God. Dhyana Yoga, sit comfortably and have love towards God. That itself is dhyana. For everything, we have a goal. We want to achieve something. If somebody says, do 1 hour meditation, we will ask, what is it in it for me? That kind of attitude will take you nowhere. You just have to sit, connect to God, love God, and enjoy your loving relationship with God. Bhagavad Gita 7.3 Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye yatatam abhi siddhanam kaschin mam vetti tattvataha. Many amongst thousands of people, hardly one person strives for perfection. Perfection means in meditation, doing meditation, try to get better. And amongst those, very rare few know God in reality. It is such a rare thing to have love of God, for the sake of love of God. To have a loving relationship with God in itself is a great achievement. Seven 7.4 to 7.12 Nature of God. There is a higher nature of God. Higher nature means everything is God only. Higher nature of God is consciousness. It is unchanging. It is Advaita, non-dual. Ananda, bliss. Consciousness in Ishvara, God, and consciousness in all jivas. This is like the fire, light of the self. And then there is apara prakriti, lower nature of God. Lower nature means gross form. Matter is duality, constantly changing, pain and pleasure. Panchabhutas. What are Panchabhutas? Earth, water, fire, wind, and space. Prithvi, Jala, Agni, Vayu, and Akasha. Panchabhutas. Buddhi means intellect. Ahankara means ego. All these are lower nature of God. It is like one aspect of God. Our intellect is an aspect of God. Our mind, manas, is one aspect of God. Our body, which is made up of 5 elements, Panchabhutas, is one aspect of God. We are nothing but God in another form, lower form, gross form. And in this body, animating this body, is the Chaitanya, spirit. That spirit is also God only, Ishvara. The I am in you, the I am in me, the I am in everyone is Ishvara. The I am in ant, the I am in elephant, everything is Ishvara only. If you look at the creation, how the universe is created from an individual being's perspective, Jiva's perspective, you have to think of it like this. There is something called Upadana Karana. For anything to be made, there is a cause for it. There are 2 types of causes. Nimitta Karana, Upadana Karana. Nimitta Karana means intelligent cause. Upadana Karana means material cause. For example, if somebody made a pot is made. There are 2 types of cause for it. One is the mud, which is the material cause, and another is the potter who made the pot. So is God like the potter is the intelligent cause, mud is the material cause. So mud is called Upadana Karana, potter is called Nimitta Karana. So people can debate, is God like a Nimitta Karana that in creation of the universe, or God is also the Upadana Karana, the material cause? Did we come out of God, or there is some Prakriti matter lying around and taking like a mud, and God is an intelligent cause who has taken that mud and created the world? Which viewpoint we take, depending on that, different thought processes will be there. However, In Advaita school, in Advaita philosophy Vedanta, when we talk about creation, we say that God is both the intelligent cause as well as material cause. That means whatever is created comes entirely out of the creator, both the material as well as the intelligence. So, and what comes out of God is non-different from God. So, this is the theory. This is one level of understanding. There are other levels. Then there is another terminology that comes, which is called upadhi. Upadhi means name and form. For example, my body is a upadhi for my spirit. This is a name and form for my consciousness. Your body and mind is the upadhi for your consciousness. So, upadhi means there is a pot. It is made up of mud. There is a kettle which is also made up of mud. Now, pot is a name and form of mud. Kettle is also a different name and shape form of mud. What is pot? It is mud only. What is kettle? It is mud only. So, in effect, pot and kettle are not two different things. They are one non-duality. Whereas the name and form of pot is different from name and form of kettle. Is name and form real? I'll tell you an example. A necklace, a ring, and a bracelet. All three are different names and forms of gold. What is necklace? It is gold only. What is bracelet? It is gold only. What is ring? It is gold only. It depends on your viewpoint. A lady who is interested in jewelry goes to a jewelry shop. She sees necklace, she sees ring, she sees bracelet. But the jewelry shop owner, he sees only gold. The jewelry shop owner will charge you for the gold. The cost of the necklace depends on the weight of the gold, not on the shape and form, name and form of necklace. I hope I made it clear. Similarly, the world which you see is different names and forms of the same material, unseen material called Brahman. Brahman only appearing as different names and forms in this world. Whatever you see is different name and form of the same material called Brahman. This is the theory. Here, pot, name and form is the upadhi per pot, is called pot. Kettle name and form is the upadhi called kettle. Similarly, this body is in this shape, in this form. It is the upadhi named my name. Your body is named that name. But the spirit behind this name and form and the spirit behind every name and form is Brahman. It is the same one. Upadhis differ, but the essence does not differ. The essence is Brahman, Parabrahman. This is the understanding. If you look from Brahman point of view, creation from Brahman point of view, you have to say there is no creation. It is only Brahman only. The Upadana is Brahman, Nimitta Karana is Brahman, Upadhi is also Brahman. Everything is Brahman only. There is no creation. So, 7.4 to 7.12, nature of God. So, it talks about Mahatattva to Ahankara and Sattva, Rajas, Tamo gunas, 5 sense organs, this eyes, nose, ears, how the creation happened. First, there was Atma. From Atma came the Mahatattva. From Mahatattva, Ahankara. From Ahankara, Sattva, Rajas, Tamo gunas. These Sattva, Rajas, Tamo gunas became 5 sense organs. It became 5 sensations of touch, smell, hearing, taste, vision, like that. So it's a gradual from subtlest form to gross form. What we are seeing the world is a gross world. It came from a subtlest Atma. This is how it has to be understood. Seven point four explains this. Bhumirapo analo vayu kham mano buddhi revacha. Buddhirevacha. Ahankara itiyame binna prakriti. So we have seen earth, water, fire, air, space, mind, intellect, and ego. These are the 8 components of my material energy. So these are the lower nature. There is nothing higher than myself, O Arjuna. Everything rests in me as beads strung on a thread. So you have to understand that from Brahman point of view, Upadana is Brahman, Nimitta is Brahman, Upadhi is Brahman. Everything is Brahman only. There is nothing higher than Krishna. I am the taste in water, radiance of sun and moon. I am the sacred syllable Om in the Vedic mantras. I am the sound in ether and the ability in humans. I am the pure fragrance of the earth and the brilliance in fire. I am the life force in all beings and the penance of the ascetics. Know that I am the eternal seed of all beings. God is the seed source. Seed means source from which everything has come. I am the intellect of the intelligent and the splendor of the glorious. 7.13 Cause of suffering. Why we will undergo suffering? is because we are focused on the apara prakriti. We are focused on the material nature. We are focused on the gross. We are not focused on the subtle, which is the consciousness. If you take your mind back to the consciousness, you will feel peaceful. This is, if you are focused on the outward projection, which is the gross objects, your mind will get distracted and your mind will go in 10 different directions and you will have agitation. If you take it back subtler and subtler inside, then you will see that you are consciousness, you are spirit. If you stay as spirit, you are peaceful. And 7.14 to 7.19, devotion is the remedy for suffering. See, there are different types of people. A Nastika. Nastika means an atheist. Atheist is materialistic. Atheist is not even a devotee. Then there is a Artho who is in difficulties. A person may be having difficulties. Then that person will pray to God to remove the difficulties. He is called a Artha who is in a difficulty. Ardhardi, a person wants property, money, prosperity. That person also prays to God. He is called a Arthardi. Artharthi. Ardha means wealth. Ardhi means who seeks wealth. Ardhardi means who seeks wealth. Seeker of money and desires. Money, why money? To fulfill the desires. Jijnasu means Jijnasu is seeker of truth. A person wants to understand God. A spiritual seeker will also approach God. And then there is a Jnani who is established in truth, who is a wise person. He has pure love for God. That is called Parabhakti. 7.20 to 7.26, devotion for material needs. So I have explained, these persons treat God as an ATM machine. They want to fulfill their desires through the help of God. They are not praying to God for the sake of God, for love of God, but they want to fulfill their desires to have a good life. 7.27 to 7.30, those who have spiritual bent of mind, they will have Nishkama Bhakti. They are having gratitude towards God for what God has given to them, and they have love for the God. These are called Nishkama Bhaktas. So God says, Supreme Lord says, my divine energy Maya, consisting of Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, is very difficult to overcome. Those who surrender, who does bhakti or sharanagati, they reach God and they cross over Maya very easily. So we have discussed this. 4 kinds of people engage in devotion. They are Artho, Artharthi, Jignasu, and Jnani. This we have discussed. After many births of spiritual practice, one who is endowed with knowledge surrenders unto me. knowing me to be all that is. Such a great soul is indeed very rare. Vasudeva Sarvamiti Samahatma Sudurlabha. Knowing me, Vasudeva, to be all that is, such a great soul is indeed very rare. All beings are deluded by the dualities of desire and aversion. Everybody have dualities, likes and dislikes. Anything that come in front of us, either we like it or we dislike it. We are never neutral to it. So we have either desire or aversion. But those who take shelter in God, strive for liberation from old age and death, they come to know the Brahman, also the individual self, and the entire field of karmic action. They will understand all these things. With this, chapter number 7 is summary is completed. Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amrutam Gamaya Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah Harihi Om Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Any questions? Anything you want to say? If there is nothing to say,